The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics. We can no longer say it's the only show of its type. Someone has copied us. They're up in Plymouth. Great. We're very happy that it's taking place. But always, it's the good Democrats against the bad Republicans. I'm bad Republican.
You're a legend in your own mind.
No,
I think you can still say we are the only show that goes nose to nose on the issues. I'm willing to bet that other show is nothing like us.
No, and you want to know something? You and I, if we ever went up there,
We'd rock their boats.
and we'd just say, sit there, introduce us, we'll do the rest.
That's right. We'll take it over. Because I know the two Republicans that are there, and Dan Itz is a nice guy. Paul Gibbons is a nice guy. They're good Liberty guys. Yeah. But they're not forceful like I am.
I know. They're cold.
They're not fighters like I am.
No, they're cold.
You know what I mean? They're very good. They're very focused. Good votes.
I'd like to say,
but they're politically correct guys.
Yeah, no, I'd like to say I'm pretty good at getting co-hosts. I knew you were available, and I asked, and you're the co-host of the show.
Right.
And I think that. Because I like that. You see, what we're talking about, folks, just in case you've just tuned in or whatever, we're talking about how this show works compared to another show that's taking place. They're copying what we're doing, but nobody can do exactly what we're doing because it's me and it's you.
That's right. There's only one Al Baldessaro in New Hampshire.
Thank God
That's
there's
right.
only one Al.
And
let me
the
tell
Democrats continue to whine that I intimidate them because I ask the questions and I go to the committee hearings.
You rough them up. You
What do
bring
you
your
mean?
friends down from
because
Boston.
I want answers.
You
know
get
what I mean?
horses' heads
Yeah.
you put in their beds. I mean,
Every
that's the
time
way
you
you
guys
are.
want to put in a tax, a fee, I want answers. Why? What are you trying to fix? What's broken? Why do we need more laws?
Al, come on.
I'm being honest. What's wrong with you? You hate the facts, don't you?
If you guys, the Republicans had an opportunity to be class acts. They had an opportunity to do what was
right.
We are
class
They
act.
had an opportunity. All they had to do was say, we're not going to raise taxes anymore. Now,
we didn't.
But not cut everything.
We didn't raise taxes.
Because when you cut them, the cities have to pay it back.
Okay, tell me what we cut. You just said we cut. Tell me what we cut. Tell me what we cut in the budget. We gave the governor 95% of what you wanted. Tell me what we cut.
Why are they vetoing it?
Tell me what we cut. You made a statement there, Representative. Tell me what we cut.
What do you want to start with?
Whatever you want.
Okay, why don't we start with, how about cutting something that for $1
Like
brings
what?
in $7.99?
Like what?
How about tourism dollars?
Tourism dollars? No, you're going to go back to the art. We did that 4 years ago. We cut the art 4 years ago there because donations.
I'm talking tourism dollars.
Okay, how are we cutting tourism dollars?
How much is in the tourism budget?
We donated millions of dollars.
No,
Wait,
how much is
wait a
in
minute,
the
hold
tourism
it.
budget?
I don't know I didn't bring my budget with me.
Well, then why are you asking me?
Because you're saying we cut.
$1.
Well, you're saying we cut.
$7.99 coming back and you cut it.
You know, some give it a break. That's a bunch of BS.
Guess what that
is?
You have to invest into the state of New Hampshire, not constantly say cut. and
I'm
look at
glad
the
you
cameras
brought that up.
and go to the people.
I'm
It's
glad he brought that
far
up.
better
How many years
that
went?
you spend the
Listen to
money
me for a
than
second.
we spend the money. Guess what? Are they any better off under your
Listen
you?
to me. Yes.
They're
How
not
many,
better off.
let me explain how they are.
Okay.
How many has gone to Hampton Beach and see that new shell, that new music center, new visitor center? How many have seen all the parking areas in Hampton Beach? Where'd that money come from? That was the state under Bill O'Brien invested in that area. How many of you go up north there, up in the mountains, Cannon Mountain, and see what's going on there, the money we put in there to redo Cannon Mountain? How about all the ATV areas for tourist stuff there? How about the fishing during the winter months that we invested money in those areas? I don't think you know what you're talking about. You're just mad because we didn't, because of the arts. I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead.
Why in the world, even a percentage of Republicans are voting against this budget? Why, if it's so good? No, you're saying to everybody out there that this budget is so good. Why is it that the disabled, the mentally ill?
It's all in there.
No,
it's all in there. That's not true.
I
Yes, it is.
I gotta say,
no, it's not.
Remember we talked about this guy named Chuck?
I'll bet you a lunch once again.
We talked to this guy about Chuck, about him having these things taken away from him.
You didn't have all your ducks in line. You dropped the ball on that. Let's not even go back there. No, that's not true.
No,
you dropped the ball on that. That's not true.
Do you want to know what his doctor said?
What his doctor said?
His doctor said, you know what you should do? Sue the state.
He should sue the state.
Because in a coma for 3 days,
you know something,
they wouldn't spend $75.
If that was
$75,000.
You know something,
this is the Republicans.
Let me run some. I got calls from my constituent on situations like this. What they told me I called right from their house, or a 3-way phone call from my phone, right to the Commissioner of Health and Human Services, and got it corrected. Come to find out, somebody sitting in an office didn't give him or maybe the right questions weren't asked. Okay, you don't know the whole story. You're assuming. You know what assume means?
No, but I'm going to find out.
Okay, an ass out of you and me. Okay? Now.
I want you, ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows I'm
jackass.
I'm giving you the time, and I'm not.
Because you have no choice, because I'm going to go back at you. Because you say things and it's not true.
You take care of the bozo bus, and I've got to give you credit for that. What do we?
And you take care of the prison bus.
What do we have?
And the socialist bus.
The bozo bus of Donald Trump. I mean, give me a break.
You know,
do you like Donald Trump?
I like Donald Trump.
You like Donald Trump?
I like Donald Trump. I like Ted Cruz, Scott Walker, Marco Rubio.
Oh, boy.
We've got some great candidates.
Really?
Rick Perry. We sure do.
You don't have one that can win. Donald Trump.
You don't either. You're leading candidates going to jail.
He's going in. He's got to give kids rides on his helicopter to get votes from their parents.
You want to know what he did? A person that had cancer, some medical issues there, he used his plane to get that person out of the area to go to a specialized hospital.
That's not true.
Oh, it's not true.
You're just so full
Do a Google search on that. Don't believe me.
Bus.
Okay.
Why in the
What
world,
is your bus? The criminal bus?
The
socialist bus?
Why in the world would you go for Donald Trump?
I like Donald Trump. I haven't endorsed anyone yet.
Give me an idea.
I think because of what he stands for on veterans, what he said about ISIS, on
what did
shutting
he say
them
about
down.
ISIS?
He wants to shut them down.
What does he want to do?
He wants to
boots on the ground.
No, not boots on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen. No.
You know, some
Republicans are war.
No.
Republicans are war.
Republicans about protecting Americans.
Really?
These people want to kill us. These people are infiltrating in our country.
Right.
What don't you understand?
Right. Well, Donald Trump is. Look.
Hillary Clinton. Tell me what's great about Hillary Clinton. Tell me about Hillary Clinton.
Just say this.
Let's talk. Who do the Democrats have?
We're talking about Donald Trump.
Who do the Democrats have?
Finish.
Okay, let's finish there, and then we'll go into Hillary Clinton.
All right, because and we'll talk about Scott
Walker. No, we're going to get into Hillary Clinton.
All right.
Hillary Clinton next.
You have Donald Trump making statements.
Yes, like what?
About
like what?
Well, we have 1,100 aliens, and let me tell you, there are 11 million and a half, and let me tell you, we're not going to ask them nice to leave. They're going to be right out of there. And I'm thinking to myself, let me see. Some of these people have been here a long time. Some people have kids. Gee whiz, I wonder, you're just going to take them right out of this country. Right, 11 million people. You know how stupid that is?
First of all.
How idiotic is that?
First of all, they broke into our home. Okay?
Who?
The illegal aliens. They broke into our country. If you did that when broke into Mexico, you'd be in jail like that sergeant that Obama did nothing about it, that got out of the Marine Corps, that the Democrats dropped the ball on. Okay? Or like those 4 Americans that end up over there in Iran that are in jail, and we're making a nuclear deal with that they can continue, and we got to give them a 24-day notice, and we're going to inspect them. Give it a break. What you with the Democrats? You're all weak on national security. Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to national security.
So let me see. If we don't do this deal, and Russia will, because Russia's already cleared it, and Russia's part of it.
Let Russia.
China is
Russia's
part
feeding
of it.
them arms in it. Let
is
them.
part of it.
Russia's making millions of
UK
dollars
is
off
part
them.
of it. So the question is, we're the only country that will be against Iran. They're gonna do exactly what they're going to do, supposed to do. Then they're going to just stop.
And we're going to give them that $150 billion back.
So what we ought to do? Well, it's their money.
But we should continue to keep it the way it is.
Is do nothing.
That's a Democrat's way.
No,
nothing.
No,
that's
do
a Democrat way.
And well, you know what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
Oh, well, I think Israel is going to panic. They certainly are panicking now.
You know something?
Then all of a sudden, another Republican's going to come in. Republicans do have wars. We do know that. Every time there's a Republican. Who stops the wars? Democrats. Who starts the wars? Republicans. That's the way it goes.
What happened?
It's always been that way.
What happened
it's
in
always
Vietnam?
the Democrats who picked everything up.
What happened in
and get
Vietnam?
everything.
Who sent over
You want to know who the
advisors to
first
Vietnam?
is? You want to know who the first is? Eisenhower.
Eisenhower did? He sent over?
Eisenhower. And you know what Kennedy did?
Had
And
advisors.
You're going to love this.
And Kennedy took it to the next step.
No. Kennedy took the next step with the...
We had advisors.
No, with the sunshine coming back. Johnson got in. That was it. Republican. Of course it was a Republican fighting the wars. Of course it was.
You know something?
Of course it was Eisenhower who put people
To
in
my
Vietnam.
fellow veterans that are watching this here, if you're supporting a Democrat, you need to look in the mirror and say, these people want to sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya and wait for these terrorists to come in and take us out, or to start shooting up, or infiltrate each individual and radicalize them there to start shooting up different areas. That's what you guys are all about.
Who's shooting up what?
Look at the
Who's
theater.
shooting up?
Look at the 4 veterans, the Marines there. 4 Marines and a sailor got killed. Okay, by the Muslim over there, they're radicalized.
Okay.
Over in Chattanooga. Look at the other one over at Fort Hood. Look at the bombing in New York at the recruiting office years ago. You have no clue because Democrats forget what went on yesterday.
Yes.
You're only concerned about what you can get out of people's pockets or how many people you can put on welfare. That's your goal. Raise the numbers on welfare because they feed off the government, and that's more votes we'll get when they get their hand out. Who are you trying to kid? You're letting me keep going on. You're not cutting in.
I'm going to let you go on.
Because the truth hurts.
No,
the truth
doesn't
hurts.
hurt. I'm going to let you.
Hurts.
You see, I'm giving you a little string.
Okay,
good.
Hanging yourself. Let me hang myself. Tell me how.
Who stops the wars? Who started the war?
Tell me how. What
Who started the war?
What war did Obama stop? What war did Obama stop?
Who crashed our economy? Just happens to be who? Bush was in?
Who was the Senate and the Congress?
Who is
Under
the one
Bush's
who brought
last 2 years. In Bush's last 2 years, who was the Congress and Senate when it crashed?
By the way, I know you hate
Who
Obama.
owns-
I know you hate Obama.
No, I don't hate
but
Obama.
Do you know that under the
I got a picture of me and Obama in his office.
Yeah.
In his
Under
at the White House.
Obama
I don't hate
administration,
Obama. You're wrong.
More has been done for the vets.
No,
than
that's
any
BS.
time in the
That's
history.
BS. They cut the COLA on disabled veterans. That's a bunch of BS.
No, that was through the Republicans.
No, it wasn't through the Democrats. He signed it.
So wait a minute. So all this money came in the last 8 years since he's
something?
been there. And so, no, the question is, no. So where did it come from?
Okay. You're
It
talking.
came from a Republican
Since
president?
you brought in the
So you turn around
Since you brought
and
in.
you hold this as a Democrat is awful, did everything bad for vets.
you know
Wait a minute,
something?
Wait a minute. Ukamba around there.
Kelly
Guess what?
Ayotte-
Ladies and gentlemen,
Kelly
the
Ayotte
fact is that
was-
the reason why you have all the benefits coming
Okay.
in to the veterans is
Out
because
of-
the Obama administration.
On the budget, Kelly Ayotte was the only one. You had Carol Shea Porter, a Democrat. You had Ann Custer, a Democrat. And you had Shaheen, a Democrat. All three of them voted to cut the disabled veterans COLA
Ladies
1%.
and gentlemen, that is
Okay?
a lie.
No, it's not.
That's a complete,
No, it's not.
total, unequivocal lie. It
No,
was
it's not. It's a
from
fact.
the Democrats that you got
Okay.
your veteran
I think
benefits.
you're gonna owe me
You've
apology.
got the hospitals.
No.
You've got the
What
doctors.
hospitals?
You're getting the
No,
nurses.
what
more.
hospitals? You don't have a
I
clue
thought
what
you
you're
told me
saying.
up in Manchester, the VA hospital was wonderful.
No, it's an urgent care center. It's not a hospital. That's how
not.
much you know about the
Oh, all
veterans.
right.
It's clinics.
Oh, wait.
You have no
Hold on
clue.
a second. And can't you now go to a regular hospital and do the vets?
We
pay for
have to
that?
get permission.
Excuse me. Oh,
We got-
permission.
do you
But
know-
but you couldn't do it before.
You know something? What
Yeah.
makes me laugh, you have no clue of the system that goes on. Because the choice
I
card.
have a clue.
No, you don't. The choice card, you got to call a third party in Tennessee and get permission. Okay? Now, if a veteran was on welfare, he can go see any doctor, any clinic he wants, anywhere in the state. He don't have to call nobody to get permission, that whoever's on welfare or TANF. But a veteran, you got to call a third party in Tennessee and get permission on the choice card.
Okay, so your point is.
So my point is, veterans
if
are
they-
treated
if
as
they-
second-class citizens. You don't have a clue what goes on in New
Excuse me.
Hampshire.
Let me see.
Where are our veterans being treated?
You're always.
Where are they being
excuse
treated?
me, you're always saying
Don't
all
touch
right.
my coffee.
that the veterans are now being treated a lot better than they were 8 years ago.
No.
Yes,
No,
yes.
no, I never said that.
Are you kidding
No, I
me?
never said that. Look
You
at the wait list.
told me that.
No, I never said that.
Isn't that all over?
No.
Isn't the waiting list
In
all
other
over?
states it is.
Did Obama
No.
bring in more people, more doctors?
No, you know, not one person got fired. No, I'm sorry. One
can't
person.
take it.
No.
You can't
You know
take
some-
the truth.
you know
when it
some,
comes
I
to
went to-
veterans.
you know-
Especially veterans. Why do you pick on veterans?
Because I
You're
went to-
a veteran.
I went to Washington, D.C. with the Concerned Veterans of America. I met with Democrat senators and Republican senators and House Republicans and Senate. I met with the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee on the choice card, on why we're treated as second-class citizens, why we got to call and say, may I? Now, it was all screwed up. Now, Kelly Ayotte and Shaheen both.
Kelly Ayotte.
You're not listening to me.
Kelly Ayotte
Kelly Ayotte
shouldn't
and
even be
Shaheen.
there.
You're not listening to me. No, Shaheen shouldn't. But they both got
Kelly
together.
Ayotte
Will you
would
let
have
me
been
finish?
asked to resign if she would have stayed in as,
Yeah, okay.
that's
Okay.
right.
All right.
I got enough information on her.
Okay.
Black and white, everybody has it. And I don't know why people don't use
Okay.
the FRM debacle that she
Okay.
put
Now, let me
the
finish what I was
state in
saying.
as the top cop and not doing anything.
Let me finish what I was saying now. Kelly Ayotte and Sheen held some town meetings here in Londonderry together, nonpartisan. They came up because in New Hampshire was no list of doctors, okay, that were in the system, in the program
That's
for the
true.
choice card.
That's true.
And then Kelly Ayotte made him post it on their website. The VA held them accountable. And
True.
Shaheen.
That's
It was a
true.
team effort, so
Yeah.
I'm giving credit where it's due.
Okay.
But when it came to the COLA for disabled veterans that have been retired with no arms, no legs, TBI, traumatic brain injury, they cut them 1%.
Do not say that.
They cut them 1%.
Because that's not
Do you want me to
fair,
show you?
And that is a
It's
lie.
the truth.
That is a
no, it's
lie,
not.
and that's not the
Keep
truth.
talking and I'll find it for you.
I love the way you say
Okay.
that the Democrats did that. Why is it the Democrats, under the Democrats, more money is coming into the veterans? Maybe not enough.
We don't need more
And-
money.
and
No.
let me- oh,
We
yes,
want the Veterans
yes.
Affairs
Do
we
you
want them
know-
audited.
Do you know
I
why-
want them audited.
Look, you're a smart guy. Let me ask you, do you know why the hospitals the whole thing broke down? Do you have any idea?
And well, I'll let you tell
Well,
me
no,
the date.
no.
You know it all.
Do you
Tell
know
me.
why the
Yes.
hospitals and
You're
the
talking about here in
doctors and the
VA.
waiting time?
You're
No,
talking about what, the
you
VA.
Yes, you're a veteran.
Yes, I
You
do.
tell me.
No, I know. No, you tell
no,
me. You're
you
bringing it
tell
up.
me.
No, you know all this.
No.
You brought this up. You tell me.
Look,
Tell Al Baldus out.
You're
You're the
guy
VA expert.
turning around saying, I help all the vets.
No,
well,
no.
let me ask
I
you,
never said I helped all the vets.
Why weren't the
Never,
vets
ever.
cared for?
Huh?
Why weren't the vets cared for? Why was there a lot of waiting?
You want me to answer that for you because you don't have a clue.
I do. Would you like me to answer?
I
it
want
for
you. Yeah, I
Let me
want you to answer,
it
and
for
then
you.
I'll answer
All
after
right.
you.
What he's not telling you, and I can understand the reason why, he probably hasn't thought about it. One of the reasons why the VA and all the hospitals are not enough doctors, not enough nurses, and not enough appointments on time. You know why?
Why?
Because of a war.
Oh, here we go back
The
to the
war
war.
brought
It's Bush's
the
fault.
veterans in.
Give it a break.
The
Obama,
war
you know
brought
something?
the people in who needed
know,
it. And the hospitals and the doctors
Here we
couldn't
go again.
take it.
That has nothing to
And
do with it.
what
That's
this
not
has
true.
shown by this war and so many
You know
vets
something?
coming back compared to what there was 15 years ago, guess what? That's the reason why it happened.
So you're saying we should have just let Osama bin Laden do his thing and, you know, blow us up? We should just let.
What does that got to do?
We
I'm
should
talking
let
about
Hussein.
Iraq.
We should
I'm
let
talking about Iraq.
Hussein, okay, their president there, continue with the oil for food, continue to lock in on our aircraft, continue to pay 25,000 suicide bombers. We should just let that all go on.
Yeah, and let me and let's add to this. You took him out, all right?
Yeah,
And there's a small little book called The Art of War.
I'm very
All
familiar
right?
with it.
Yes,
Who wrote
The
it?
Art of War. All right. It's,
Who wrote the book?
400 years
Who wrote the
before
book?
Christ.
Who wrote it?
I don't. It's a Chinese guy.
Sun
Two
Tzu.
of them actually.
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. There's two. Actually,
Okay.
there are two.
Okay.
And The Art of War simply says is when you defeat your enemy,
Get out.
you take the generals and the good people who are really against the government, and you keep that in place.
Okay.
We went in under the Republicans and said, and by the way, the generals.
So we should have listened to that Chinese guy.
No, the
We should have.
generals. Hold on a second. The generals of this war, the lieutenants, all the people who ran his army, who hated him, were very willing to stay there and work on that if it was a democracy.
Okay.
But you know what we
Now-
did? We said, no, we don't want you. So all these soldiers said, how are we gonna, we've got pensions coming, you don't want to pay those.
You know-
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go take all the arms where we know where
I
they
would
are
never
and
say-
sell them.
I would never say no mistakes were made. I'll never
So
say
the
that.
biggest mistakes
okay?
in the world were made
Because
at that
sometimes many lessons are learned when it comes to war.
There's no
lessons
learned in
That's
war.
what we call. Yes, they are.
How can you have
know?
something? Hey, you want to know something?
have no
Colin
clue.
Powell, Republican, Desert Storm. All right.
I don't think he's a Republican
no.
if he
No,
supported.
he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
No, who did he endorse?
At that time,
who did he endorse?
Excuse
okay,
me.
give it a break.
He endorsed.
He was far from a Republican.
Excuse me.
Okay, he was
Before
far from a
Obama
Republican.
came along, he
okay,
was.
he was far from a
Would
Republican.
I like to give a Republican some credit if you would shut up
No,
for a
I won't
moment?
shut up because you lied.
No.
Okay, you lied. You never
I don't
tell
like-
the truth.
Let me tell you something.
Or you never
Let-
finish.
No. Let's go back to the Art of War, this little
Okay.
book. You know what this gentleman says? That it was close to 3,000 years ago. He says, well, you know how you really win wars? He
Fog
says,
of war.
what you do is you let the enemy know that you're building up. And that's what Powell did. He took him, he built up.
Right.
He built up. And all of a sudden, psychologically, guess what happens?
What happened?
The people on the other side go, whoa, hold on a second. Keep building up, keep building up, keep building up. And you want to know something?
What?
In
what is it?
100 hours, the war was over.
Right.
The
I was there.
100-hour war. How did it happen?
I was in Desert Storm.
It
I served there.
didn't happen because of fighting. It did because of common sense. Colin Powell, when it came to Bush, wanted something like 400,000. And you know what Bush says? Oh, no, we can do it with 135,000.
That's not true. That's not true. We had more than we had about 700,000 there.
No, you
That's not true.
did
Yes, we did.
not.
Oh,
No, you-
Jesus.
600,000
Okay. Hey, listen, let's not even
people.
waste our time because you know something? I was there. Okay. I ran the airfields. I
doesn't
built
make
the
any
airfields
difference.
for the
I know.
Harriers and helicopters. You have no
hey,
clue what you're
you wanna
talking
do
about.
Is you want to thank
Okay?
Colin Powell for that.
No,
Yeah, thank
Colin,
you.
Colin Powell did
Because
do a
he
good
was
job.
pretty smart to
General
do that.
Schwarzkopf did a
And
great
when he
job.
wanted
We had
to
some great
do
generals
that
there.
for Iraq, your president wouldn't let that happen.
No,
and
that's
this
not
is what
true.
Happens.
You know, you're bringing up stuff
That's
you
what
have no.
happens.
You're bringing up stuff you have no clue about.
Well-
Okay, General Schwarzkopf did a great job there in the ground war. We probably would have went in earlier if we had to wait for the army. Okay, you probably didn't even know
You
that.
don't get it.
We had to send
You
over
didn't
preposition.
hear me.
Are you familiar with preposition ships?
Excuse me a second. How can you say
Say what?
when we start the war and it's a 100-hour war, a war,
Okay.
and at that particular point, the people who were killed mostly by accidents, because accidents do happen.
Right.
All right. 100-hour. How can you say we should have done it sooner.
Because very simple.
So
how many people?
more people would have died?
How many people did we
wait a
kill? How many people did we
Let
kill
us
prior?
not add.
How many of the enemy did we kill prior with our
Which
with
war
our
are you
bombing?
talking about?
We're in
Get your
Iraq.
wars
We're
together.
we're in
We
Iraq.
were just talking
You were just saying
no,
Iraq.
we were just talking about Desert Storm. You said you were there.
I was there in Desert Storm.
All right. Well, thank General
Okay,
Power, who's a
but-
Republican.
But what I'm trying to tell you,
You got to understand these things.
how many people up into the war, till the Marines stepped off in the fake maneuver coming in off the ocean, how many Iraqis did we kill prior with our aircraft?
I don't know.
Okay, you just said nobody died. You just said nobody died.
You know something?
You had no clue. See,
Look,
I told you. Did I confuse you?
With Desert Storm.
Desert Shield. Let me help you out, Desert Shield.
Let us move over to now Iraq.
Oh, now we're in Iraq now because you don't have the answer. Okay, go ahead. All right, I got you. That was quick. Why don't we talk? Let's talk about New Hampshire.
People who are watching this show are going,
Hey.
one of these guys are crazy.
Yeah, and they know it's you because I was there.
Guess what? We have 3 minutes.
See, you
And
got
I
away.
didn't think
You
I
got
could
away
do
from talking.
27
You
minutes,
got away from
and I
talking
can
about
do
the
it. There you
budget, the
go.
governor on her misuse of what's going on, vetoing, mental health, drugs, the veterans at the VA. We didn't even get a chance to talk about what the governor did. You dragged this out about what's going on years ago and blaming Bush.
You know something? I like you. If I didn't
No,
like
you don't.
I-
You're lying. Your wife likes me, the better half. I like the
I
better
like you
half.
because if I didn't like you, I would not do this show.
That's
period.
right.
All right?
I actually bring his ratings up. Doesn't he have a face for radio?
Yeah, I have a face on radio. But you sometimes don't know what's going on.
No,
and I love you.
No, I do know what's
You're
going
very
on.
mechanical. You say this.
I do.
Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Constitution of the United States? Let's see it.
No,
You got it on you.
I do have. I always have it
Do you
on
have
me.
the Constitution of the
I always
State of
have it on
Hampshire?
me.
There we go.
I always have because you guys don't know what to. You're always going against our constitutional rights. You want to take away people's
yeah,
rights.
we want to take away the guns.
If you're not taking money out of people's pockets, you're taking food off their table.
I love
You're going after their guns.
You want to know something?
It's the
I think-
truth.
Hasn't Obama been voted 5 times the person who sells more guns than
Yeah,
any other
that's right.
person in the world? Never
He's a
wanted
good
to
salesman.
take a gun away.
He's a good salesman.
Never take a gun. No, it's the NRA.
Oh yeah.
We
Well,
can go into
take
that.
a look at what he's doing
All
behind
right.
the scenes.
I guess we're going to take a, we're going to say goodnight, and we will, we got about a minute and a half. And
It's always a
takes us 3
it's always a
minutes.
pleasure.
No, wait a minute. No,
It's always
it usually
it's always a
takes us-
pleasure to hang out with my
It
Mr.
always
Fiction.
takes us at least 3 minutes
Right.
to say goodbye. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, albaldessaro.com. Or you can reach me at 41 Hall Road, Londonderry. Call me on my phone, 425-6997. Very
Your
simple.
address?
I just said 41 Hall Road,
All right,
Londonderry.
ladies and gentlemen, would somebody please go to Hall Road and knock on this guy's door, or are you afraid? You have big dogs?
No, but I had 3 people
You have
just this
dogs?
week alone come
You
to
have
my
big
house
dogs?
during the week that
All
I took
right.
care of some issues for them.
My name is Ken Gidge. This is the Art of Politics, and I guess you can kind of figure out what we do. We argue a lot, but there's a lot of good things and big
Fact,
things happening.
fiction.
Yeah, fact fiction.
Right?
You got
Look.
it. But
I
you
was
can
like,
get
see.
me at Gidge World. That's GIDGE World.
I screwed that up and you didn't even notice.
Seen that? Okay. What?
I screwed that up and you didn't even notice.
What?
Fact, fiction.
Fact
Okay.
fiction. All right.
Go ahead.
All right. My telephone number is 603-864-9332. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And I think that's about it.
And he's an artist.
And I'm an artist.
A con artist.
All right.
preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.